Most people spend $44 on food that is gone in one day, or on a few drinks, a tank of gas, and an Uber ride that they forget by tomorrow. But what if I told you that same $44 could be worth $4,500 a month for life? Sounds impossible, right? It is not, because that $44 is not about money. It is about access to the information that can literally change the rest of your life. On this channel, I show you how 3 years can buy you a lifetime back. So subscribe. Let me break this down for you clearly. The biggest mistake most people make when joining the military is that they think they are just signing a contract. But what they are really signing is their financial future. Every single line in that contract, your MOS, your branch, your status, your benefits can determine whether you leave service broke or financially free. The problem is nobody teaches you how to read that contract. Nobody teaches you how to pick a job that actually pays you later. Nobody tells you about dependence pay, BAH or VA disability before you sign. So you walk in blind. And when you walk in blind, you leave money on the table. That is why I created my school community, because I realized that a small investment in knowledge before you join, or even while you are in, can create massive returns after. Let me explain how this $44 decision can translate into $4,500 a month. When I joined the military, I did not know anything about the VA system. I did not know that the back pain, the sleepless nights, the constant stress, all those things that service does to your body and your mind can be compensated for life. I thought that is just part of the job. Nobody told me that the VA literally pays you for the rest of your life for those service-connected conditions. When I got out, I learned the hard way. I started reading, studying, filing, appealing, learning how the system really works. And once I figured it out, I realized something that changed everything. The VA is not charity. It is compensation. It is payment for what you gave up. And when you do it right, that payment can be $4,500 a month tax-free for life. That is what I receive now. $4,500 every month guaranteed. Not taxable, not temporary, not dependent on any job. That is my lifetime benefit. Now imagine if you learn how to set that up before you even join. Imagine knowing how to choose an MOS. Imagine knowing how to document your health from day one so the VA cannot deny your claim later. Imagine walking into service with a plan that guarantees you will live with financial stability, not stress. That is what my community teaches. Try making a mistake that costs you for the rest of your life. I have seen it happen. I remember talking to a guy named Chris. He was a reservist, good guy, hardworking, had a wife and 2 kids. When he got out, he missed deadlines, lost paperwork, and gave up when he got denied. Years went by. When we finally talked, I showed him how to reopen his claim, how to document everything, how to connect the dots between his service and his conditions. It took months, but it worked. He went from 0 to a 100% disability. That is $4,500 a month that's free for life. When I told him what his back pay was, tens of thousands, he said, "Man, if I had known this before, I would have done it right the first time." That is what I'm trying to save you from. You do not need to go through years of confusion. You do not need to lose money just because nobody told you how the system works. You can learn the play now. Let me talk to the people who are broke right now, who are saying, "I do not have $44 to spare." Listen, I get it. I have been broke before. I have been that guy checking the gas meter before driving to work, counting points at the grocery store. I know what it feels like when even small amounts feel heavy. But let me ask you this question. How much has staying broke cost you so far? How many opportunities have you missed because you did not invest in yourself? How much money have you left on the table because you did not have the right information? $44 is not an expense. It is a seed. You plant it once and it grows for years. Think about this. The average person wastes that much every week without thinking. But this is not a Netflix subscription. This is not Uber Eats. This is not entertainment. This is education that multiplies. You join once and you use those play for the rest of your life. Let us go deeper. Most people join the military without knowing what BAH really means. Basic allowance for housing. Sometimes they know it, but surface level. It is not just extra pay. It is free money if you plan it right. If you are married, for instance, or if you have a dependent, your spouse, your child, or even a parent you support, you can qualify for BAH while you are still in basic training and AIT. That means from the first day of the basic training until you finish AIT, you could be getting $2,000, $3,000, even $4,000 a month, depending on where your dependent lives. And They do not ask for receipts. They do not check how you spend it. It is yours. They put it in your bank account. Now think about this. While you are in training, in basic training or EIT, your housing is already covered because you live in barracks. You are not paying rent. You are not buying food. You are not commuting. That BAH is pure profit. It is the first time in your life you can actually stack money without worrying about bills. But nobody tells new recruits that. Most people miss that window. That is what the $44 buy you. At least that. The insider knowledge that nobody in your circle is talking about. The knowledge that sets you apart from the people signing blind. Let us talk about choosing jobs. Most people pick jobs based on what sounds cool. Infantry, aviation, mechanics, but they never think long term. They never ask themselves, can I use this in civilian life? That is the mistake. Because if you choose a job that gives you a security clearance, cyber, intel, IT, logistic, you are setting yourself up for a six-figure civilian career later. Employers pay massive premium for people with clearances. It is not just another job, it is leverage. The military is one of the only places where you can get that clearance for free. If you try to get it as a civilian, it could cost tens of thousands of dollars and most companies will not even sponsor you. But again, nobody tells you that before you join. That is why this information matters, because the difference between an MOS without clearance and one with clearance could be a $50,000 or a $100,000 gap in civilian salary. That is why $44 today is worth more than you think, because the return is not just $4,500 a month. It is a better life after service. And I know some people watching this are thinking, why now? You are just trying to sell me something. No, not at all. If you're not joining, I'm still making money anyway from the VA. I'm trying to teach you something here. I'm trying to show you how the system works, because I already made the mistakes you are about to make. I already lost time and money because I did not know better. I'm giving you the game now so you can skip that. And you do not have to believe me. Believe the math. Numbers don't lie. $44 a month for a year is $528, right? If the knowledge you gain helps you file for VA claim correctly and you just get a 10% disability rating, that is about $180 a month tax free. You can that back in 3 months already. If it helps you get 100% disability, that is over $4,500 a month every month for life. You get your money back in less than a day. That is not hype at all. That is simple math. And the best part is, you are not buying a promise. You are learning a system. You are learning the same steps I took to build a life that pays me whether I'm working or not. Let me make it real. When I was at your duty, I made decent money, but I was not rich. I had to budget. I had to plan. But once I got out, I started understanding how to use the benefits I had earned. The GI Bill paid for my education. I used it to get 2 master's degrees. The VA paid for my health. Disability compensation paid me every month for life. That is when everything changed. Because once you stop worrying about survival, you start thinking about building. And that is the point of my community. To teach you how to build, not to chase every check, but to build smart. Every month I talk to people who miss opportunities because nobody explained the system to them. Veterans who did not document their injuries, who did not understand dependent pay, who never used the GI Bill, who never knew how to appeal the denial. All of those mistakes could have been avoided for $44 a month. That is why decision matters so much, because this is not about a subscription. It is about a shift in mindset, a shift from guessing to knowing, from surviving to planning, from watching others win to learning how to win yourself. You do not need luck. You need leverage. And that is what this community gives you, leverage. Let me leave you with this story. There was a young guy, let's name it Luis. He was an immigrant like me. He joined the military without knowing much about benefits. He just wanted stability. When he got out, he worked 3 jobs just to stay afloat. He filed his claim. We helped him, gather his documentation, organize his statement, and appeal properly. A few months later, he called me. I could hear in his voice. He was different, confident. He said, "Bro, I just got my rating. 100%, $4,500 a month tax free. I cannot believe it. I'm not telling you that you will get 100% directly. It will take time. Okay, I'm not just selling you lies or dream." He said that money was going to help him finally bring his wife to the US, finally buy a house, finally stop stressing. That is the power of knowledge. That is what $44 can do when it connects you to the right people in the right place, the right community. You can keep spending money on things that disappear, or you can spend it once on something that pays you forever. So let me ask you one final question. What is your excuse worth? Because every reason you have for not joining, the cost, the timing, the fear is costing you 10 times more in missed opportunities. If you are serious about changing your life, if you are serious about setting yourself up before you join, the link to my school community is in the description below. That is where I break all of these down step by step. and you can ask questions directly to me. You can have access to me directly. How to choose the right MOS, how to position yourself for the right clearance, how to calculate your VA, how to file your VA claim the right way, how to turn your benefits into income streams that last for life. You do not have to guess. You do not have to wait for luck. You just have to take the first step. $44 today could be worth $4,500 a month for the rest of your life. That is the truth. Drop a comment if you have any questions and I will answer them. Watch the next video that YouTube thinks will help you. If this video that you watch right now help you, subscribe for more play that turns service into freedom. Thank you for watching. Peace. I'm gone.